Incredible. Special feeling for the group, and yeah, to respond the way we did after obviously not a great start and going a goal down, finding an equaliser within 10 minutes was really important. And they played different to what we anticipated, what we had scouted and what we had seen of them all season. They set up different to that. So fair play to them. They had a good game plan, obviously, and it took us by surprise. And then I thought once we adapted and understand and recognise where the space was going to be for us to play within our brand, I thought we got better and better as the half went on. And yeah, just incredibly proud of the group. We showed some resilience in the right moments, defended the penalty area as well as we have all year in those key moments towards the latter ends of the game. But yeah, just it's funny. I was just talking to Otto, and he just said like he almost hasn't let it sink in and enjoying it either, because they're so focused on what it is we're trying to do and how far we're trying to go. So we get another week, we get another chance to continue to play for a national championship, and that's absolutely the ambition.
Coach, was there anything that needed to be said after they took the early lead, or just to stay focused?
No, I don't think so. I think an individual error in how it led to them getting in behind, and it can happen. For me to make them aware of that is only to rub salt into the wound. So you got to give them the trust and you know, stick to what the game plan was. It did have to adapt a little bit because they came with more pressure than we expected. But again, they problem solved their way through that period of the game. It helped that Luke scores an incredible goal at a good time for us, and that run and the way that goal developed was the key, was the way we were going to unlock them. On a day, honestly, where we thought that they would be quite deep, quite compact, and actually really limit that type of space in behind. So it was welcome, it just wasn't expected.
So maybe you didn't expect the press, but it was clear that you guys knew that the long ball was something that you could exploit?
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm probably most proud of with this group is our capacity to be quite versatile in the way that we attack. So I think initially, especially because we didn't expect the press, initially we were a little bit more direct, and it was one ball, right? It was Sergio's goal, for example, and then that immediately forces them to have to change or have to respect it, and then we were able to play through lines and get Ryan Bear on the ball and Otto facing forward, and then pick our moments to release Luke in the 10 position. So I think we pride ourselves, and we have a mission statement to be the most intelligent team in the country, and I thought the group showed today that intelligence and capacity to adapt to the tactics of the opponent that were different to what we expected, which is an incredible compliment to them.
So you mentioned a little bit of disorganization on your part on their first goal. Was that a spur in some ways, though, that your team realized, hey, there's other ways and things that we can do to win this game? Does that have to play out like the game plan was?
No, I don't know that we'd seen enough. I don't know enough of the game had been played to necessarily know that was always going to be their plan, or they were going to be consistent, at least to start the game in the press the way that they did. Yeah, look, I mean, transparency, it was a terrible start. It was a terrible start. That's never the plan, and again, to concede that early, not enough time has transpired to really see what it is they're doing and how we need to adapt potentially. So again, the resilience, the fortitude of the group to stick to their guns and show some real courage in that moment was, again, probably more important than anything I could have said to them tactically at that point.
Coach, you went 8-0-3 at home this season. Brooksy said that you guys were trying to make the lesson fortress, and he thinks that you guys accomplished that. What are your thoughts on how you guys played at home this season?
I agree with Ryan. Yeah, look, we love playing here, and it has to be that way. If you look at probably the top 10 teams in the country and what their home records are, they're all right there and thereabouts in terms of what ours has been. So you have to take advantage of those. Obviously, again, an incredible crowd, incredible atmosphere, the lift that gives us, that aspect of things, it does make a huge difference in these types of occasions and these types of games. We're incredibly grateful for everyone that showed up today and supported us, and I'm really hopeful that they're willing to jump in their cars and make the trip to Louisville.
You're obviously very familiar with West Virginia as a player and as a coach. What's it mean for you to lead this group to the first College Cup for the Mounties?
Yeah, I was guilty of having a moment there just as the as the guys were singing Country Roads, and I just was taking it in, and yeah, I could feel it coming up, and yeah, it's really special. It's really special. Yeah, I said before when I did my press conference when I got the job, I meant it when I said it. I think we can win a national championship here. I wouldn't have took the job if I didn't think we had the platform and the foundation to win a national championship, and you know, that's not something that necessarily the program has a great tradition of really truly competing for. So 2021 was a breakout year for us, and to Otto's point that I mentioned before, this has just felt a little bit different. There's been a greater almost pressure, I would say. There's a level of expectation that the players had that we were going to be where we now are in the Final Four, and we will give whoever we play our very best, and are trying to win 2 more games. So I had to have a moment and let myself enjoy what we've achieved and where we are as a program right now, and it's everything, right? I've spent the better part of 20 years here in West Virginia now, which is wild. I never got to play in a game like that. So this is the next best thing. They have the best job in the world, and I have the second best job in the world. I get to coach them, and they get to play. So yeah, it was really special to have as many alum as we did back, and a lot of my old teammates were here to support us, and I know we're going to be in Louisville as well. It means a lot to everyone, and certainly to me.
Along those lines, emotions for the players, do you allow them to be emotional today? Do you want them to be?
There's a place for it, and there's a time for it. We talked about emotional intelligence before the game. That was something we spent a lot of time talking about leading into Marshall in the regular season, and how we managed our expectations and a different type of frustration because of the manner in which the manner in which Marshall play, and then honestly the manner in which we anticipated LMU to play today. Right, we thought they were going to make it really difficult by limiting space and playing quite deep. That's what we had seen in honestly all of the games, pretty much all of the games leading up to now that we had paid attention to. So we expected it to be a different type of test for the players, and the message just before the game was, you know, the biggest opponent today wasn't LMU. It was the same one we faced every game so far. It's doubt, it's uncertainty, it's frustration, it's complacency, negligence. But we face that every game, right? And we'll face it again. And so far, so good in terms of how well this group has overcome that doubt and chosen to be courageous, chosen to be brave, chosen to stay patient, chosen to show discipline. And yeah, for that, I'm incredibly proud of how they had to show that and display that again today.
You mentioned taking a moment to enjoy this and think about it. What are the things that go through your mind? What are the things that you reflect on in that moment?
The sense of accomplishment, honestly. Yeah, obviously where it started, being here as a player. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get me going again if you want me to repeat everything, all the feelings that came through. But yeah, an immense amount of pride. And you know, I mentioned to a few of you off record, for whatever reason, in my mind today, it would have felt like a failure if we hadn't made the Final Four. So it is a huge weight off my shoulders, and it was interesting to hear Otto, our captain, kind of say it the same way. I think there's been a different type of pressure on us, whether it was the way the seeding worked out, whether it's the way results have been to lead to certain opponents. I think we would have really felt like we fell short had we not won today, which is a crazy thing to say when you consider this is only the second time we've ever been to the Elite Eight. So it came with a different pressure. Now I hope that pressure has released. We're in uncharted territories again, but this is great. But I said there's an even shinier one waiting for us next week on Monday if we go about the next week to the level of professionalism and the way that we approach this game. So I don't think anyone's content. I don't think anyone is going to relax now. I think there's a really exciting week ahead of us.
Coach Luke, he scored there in the first half, and then he goes down there later on. What's he kind of meant to this team, and just what's life without him?
Well, we'll see. The X-ray came back clean, which is great. He's getting an MRI right now, so we're doing everything we can to make sure we can diagnose whatever it was. It just seemed to be simply the contact. But obviously, yeah, not good when you see him on crutches and in that capacity. as important as Luke is, and I thought Luke was the difference in the first half in terms of how he unlocked them at times and found we found him in the outlet pass in the space. The players that came in, the other players that we rotated a little bit more today, I would say, did an incredible job. And that was honestly, that was a reflection of the impact that the subs gave us against Vermont. We wanted to feel like we kept things fresh and made a few more changes today to keep the energy high and give players opportunities off the bench, because we have incredible depth, again, with this group.
Dan, speaking of depth, Sam comes on for Marcus and is critical, doesn't get an assist, but is critical to that goal.
Yeah, again, incredible attitude to understand that, when we made the change with Marcus coming off in the first half, it was Jake that got the opportunity. They've both handled themselves incredibly well. I think both Jake and Sam understand that it's a really even contest between the two of them, and they're really good friends as well, so that helps. So they understand it's not personal. If there's a bad guy, it's me. I make the final decision on which one of them potentially comes in to relieve Marcus, or if we see something where one of them is suited. And yeah, gut feeling, whatever it might be. Sometimes we make decisions and they work out really well, and Sam comes on and does great. Sometimes it doesn't, and then I probably would have to speak to Jake. But I hope that Jake is really happy for Sam that he took his opportunity in the second half, and that ultimately this team is still getting to play, and that we're in a Final Four in their freshman year. So yeah, fair play to Sam. He didn't pout or didn't show any disappointment when Jake came in the first half, and when his number was called, he was ready.
How big was Freddie in marking him, and as well as Don?
Yeah, everyone. He had his moments. To be fair, Tiger Smalls was dangerous at times. Obviously, when he can have space to run into on the dribble, he can be dangerous. We could have done a little bit better job of doubling down and containing him. I think there was some moments where it looked like it presented itself to us to go and win the ball, and we just got it wrong because his first step is quick. So we'll have to deal with that a little bit better, because we'll face other players with athleticism or some of the same qualities that he had. But for the most part, yeah, Freddie dealt with him pretty well, I thought, in the first half. And then I thought Kyle was excellent when he came into the game in the first half, and we needed a little lift in that position, honestly. And then again, he finished out that last 18 minutes really, really well, given that they had changed their shape and overloaded that side of the field quite substantially. So really wasn't too much that came down that side in that last 20 minutes. So no, it was very, very happy with how they managed that. Especially, the reality is we kept a clean sheet for 88 minutes. So with us conceding as early as we did, and then having the capacity to withstand and hold them to only that goal, yeah, obviously was the difference on the day. Okay, thanks guys. Thank you.